We always think the biggest difference between the rich and everyone else is just what's in their bank account. But what if the real gap, the thing that truly sets people on completely different paths for life, what if it has nothing to do with money? What if it's all in their heads? Today, we're going to dive into the two fundamental mindsets that really shape our financial destinies.
And that's the big question, isn't it? Is wealth just something you earn, or is it a reality you actually create with your thinking? The whole idea we're unpacking here is that real financial success, it starts way before you ever get a paycheck. It all begins with a huge shift in your psychology, basically your internal operating system for how you deal with money.
This quote just nails the fundamental difference. This one single idea separates the two mindsets we're about to break down. It's the difference between being a little gear in the financial machine and actually owning the machine itself. So, what do these two worldviews really look like in practice?
Okay, so first, let's talk about the path of security. This is the story most of us are told our whole life. It's like the standard blueprint for a good life, right? It's passed down from our parents, our schools, and pretty much all of society as the only safe, responsible way to go.
This latter, it should look incredibly familiar. The formula is practically baked into our culture. Study hard, get a secure job with a steady salary, and whatever you do, avoid financial risk. The ultimate goal here isn't really wealth, it's security. It's a path that's defined by one core idea. You trade your time for money.
And where does this path often lead? Well, for a lot of people, it leads right into the rat race. And it's this frustrating cycle. The more money you make, the more you spend. You get a bigger paycheck, so you get a bigger mortgage or a fancier car. You end up working harder and harder just to keep up. Chained to your job, and you never feel like you're actually getting anywhere.
But there's a completely different way to think about all of this. Let's explore the path of freedom. And just to be clear, this isn't about a new set of financial tips and tricks. We're talking about a completely different psychological operating system. Okay, so what's really fascinating here is how the whole purpose of work changes. With the security mindset, the job is the end goal, that's the destination. But with the wealth mindset, a job is just a launch pad. It's a temporary tool you use to build something that makes money for you, a system that works even when you're not clocking in. Is thinking changes the very definition of money itself. In that first mindset, money is basically fuel for consumption. You earn it, you spend it. But in the second mindset, money is a seed. Every single dollar is a potential little worker you can send out to go and grow a whole forest of new income by acquiring assets. And this is absolutely crucial. Look, both mindsets feel fear, okay? That's human. But the security mindset is driven by the fear of losing money. And that leads to doing nothing, to playing it safe. The wealth mindset, it's driven by the fear of missing opportunities. And that fear doesn't paralyze them, it actually motivates them to learn, to calculate, and to manage risk intelligently. So how do you actually make this mental leap? Well, the entire philosophy really hinges on one deceptively simple rule. It's all about burning a new definition of two words, asset and liability, into your brain until you can't see them any other way. That's it. So simple, right? An asset is anything that generates positive cash flow for you. Think a rental property sending you a check every month, stock dividends that just appear in your account, a business that's generating profit. It's a machine that literally prints money for you. And the opposite is just as simple. A liability is anything that drains your cash. It's a financial hole. And this is where the popular view of the world gets turned completely upside down, because a lot of the things we're taught to want as assets are, by this cold, hard definition, actually liabilities. Which brings us to the big, controversial question. For generations, we've all heard the same thing. Your home is your biggest asset. But based on the simple rules we just laid out, is it really? And this chart just brilliantly illustrates that mental divide. The home you live in? Every single month, it takes money out of your pocket for the mortgage, the taxes, the insurance, the repairs. It's a liability. Your car? Same exact story. But a rental property you own or a business you've built, those are designed from day one to put money in your pocket. Getting this difference in your gut, that is the entire game. Once this way of thinking finally clicks, you can start building your own wealth engine. And it is a beautiful, powerful loop. You use your income to buy an asset. That asset then creates its own stream of income, which you then use to buy even more assets. This is the moment money stops being something you have to work for, and it starts working for you 24/7. So now the question really turns to you. If you take an honest look at your own life, which path have you been on? Which set of psychological rules has been running your financial life this whole time? The really powerful truth here is that you can decide to change your mindset, and you can start right now. Making that shift really comes down to these core principles. It all starts with prioritizing your financial education, actually learning the language of money. It means obsessively focusing your resources on acquiring things that generate cash flow, not things that drain you. And maybe most importantly, it means realizing your greatest asset isn't your house or your car, it's your mind and your ability to learn, to adapt, and to build. So we'll just leave you with this one final thought. It's very easy to stay busy in life. It's much, much harder to actually build something meaningful. So ask yourself, is the way you think about money actually building you a path to freedom? Or is it just a really sophisticated way of keeping you on the treadmill? The answer to that question, well, it could change everything.